In this vlog, we'll try to see the power of AI in Android Studio. So in the coming version of Android Studio, AI is being introduced as a studio bot in your Android Studio, and using this particular tool, you can make your Android applications much more easier than before. And also understanding of the code is also improved by making use of this particular tool. So if you are having any queries, you can just ask the studio bot and get clarified with that particular component which you are going to use, and also you can find sample code provided by studio bot for you. So let's get started with this blog and try to see how we can make use of AI in Android Studio. So this is the official page where you can download Android Studio, and here clearly you can see we have got the latest version like Giraffe here. So you can just download Android Studio Giraffe here by tapping on this button, but in this particular version we don't have Studio Bot here. So just scroll down a bit and here you can see new features here, and inside which you can find like try app icon preview and try Studio Bot. So now let's try to tap on try Studio Bot here, and this will take us to a new page where you can find some more information regarding the Studio Bot, like what actually Studio Bot is and how you can make use of it. So here you can also enroll for the Studio Bot updates by tapping over here, and you need to just sign up for this particular process, and you can just scroll down a bit and here you can see we have got a canary version. So canary version in the sense a preview version. So this is a coming version. So just we have seen giraffe, right? So that is a current version, and after giraffe we will be getting hedgehog here. So just like alphabetical word, like after G you will be having H, right? So in the same way the next version will start with H, that is hedgehog. And when you tap on this particular button you will be taken to the next page where you can find the preview, release and a download option for it. And you can clearly see that this particular build is lightly tested and you might face some issues in this particular version of Android Studio. So just make sure to use this particular build as a part of testing purpose only, and when you are working on a real-time project for your office, for your job purpose or anything, I suggest don't use this particular build because there might be some issues. So you can make use of giraffe version for now. So now let's tap on download hedgehog here and just go through the terms and conditions here, and you need to tap on I have read and agree checkbox over here to get this particular option of downloading. My particular version is Mac with Apple chip, so I'm downloading this version, and if your laptop is Intel based, then you can select the other option as well. And if you are using Windows or any other operating system, then that particular options will be displayed over here, so you can just download based on your operating system. Let's wait till this download is completed and then we'll try to install the Android Studio Hedgehog Canary version and try to see how this looks. So here we go. Our new Android Studio version Hedgehog is being installed successfully, and here we go. We are now trying to install the new Android Studio Hedgehog version, and here I'm just selecting the basic settings over here. So I'm just going to install some basic components because we are also having a previous version of Android Studio installed on our system, so this won't take much time here. And also make sure like the Android Studio previous versions won't get affected with this particular Canary release. So if you just want to give it a try, you can just download this particular version and you can install it on your system and try out the Studio Bot. But as I have said earlier, don't make use of this particular version. So as I have said previously, don't use this particular version. So don't use the preview releases for developing the real-time projects because they are not completely built and there might be few issues in them. So now let's try to create a new project and try to explore how this particular Studio Bot would be. So I'm just specifying it like new project and tap on finish over here. So while you install this for the first time, there might be few things which are required by the latest version of Android Studio. So yes, it finished very quickly, and here's the new look of Android Studio. And one more thing I would like to specify, this particular look is also available in the giraffe version, which I have showed at the beginning of this particular tutorial. So in the giraffe version, from the themes you need to select this particular new theme available, and this, I mean, the same theme you can have in giraffe as well, which is the current version. So here you can see the new theme has got few changes here, and the changes are made especially to reduce all the icons. I mean, on the screen of Android Studio you can find various icons present, and just to avoid any confusion, any sort of confusion, so they have just tried to provide the main important icons on this IDE here, and also you can find out all the remaining options as well, and no options are removed, but just they are hidden from the main, they have been hidden, and all the options are present in the latest versions of Android Studio as well. So our Gradle is getting synchronized, so just try to wait a bit, and meanwhile we'll just try to explore here. So the version control is made to the top left here, so it was like bottom right previously, and also you can find the Logcat, Gradle over here, device manager, all these things. And yes, Logcat is here, I mean left bottom here you have, bottom left you have Logcat here, and also terminal is present over here. And what's new in Hedgehog, you can just go through this particular information provided here. And now the main question is, where is the new AI tool in Android Studio? So now let's try to see here, and tap on this particular more tools window, and here you can see here Studio Bot option available over here. So once you tap on this, and here you can see our Studio Bot is now loaded successfully, and here it is asking us to log in with the Google accounts. I have logged in with my Gmail account, and also make sure that Android Studio Hedgehog, I mean Studio Bot, can only be accessed from US based location. So make sure you either use a VPN or you are from US to make use of this particular feature here. So now I have just logged into the Studio Bot, and now let's tap on next here, and here you can see, so this is the Studio Bot privacy notice. So I suggest you to just go through these things, because as this tool is based on AI, so there might be some errors in the code provided sometimes. So make sure you try to test the code properly before using them. And here when I tap on next here, as you try Studio Bot, here are the key things to know. So it's like it provides you the previous conversation history, and it's an experimental technology they are saying, and also use generated code with caution. So just now we had discussed, right, there might be some errors in the code, so just try to make sure test it properly before trying to make use of this particular code generated. So not only in Android Studio, whenever you make use of an AI tool, then you need to make a proper verification and testing of that particular data before making it, before using it in your projects. So let's try to accept these things and try to tap on finish button over here, and here you have got a chat window kind of screen opened up, and there you need to search your queries. So the basic query every Android developer in the initial stage will have. So let's start with that particular query and try to get the response for it. How to move in between two activities? So this is the basic question, and let's try to phrase the question in a proper way so that Studio Bot will understand it. And let's try to tap on submit here and try to wait for the answer. So here they have provided some initial explanation, and after which they have specified the intent code here. So you might be aware of this particular code, but just I want to make even the beginners who watch this tutorial for the first time, they are entering into Android development for them it will be very much easier and familiar to get started. So this code will start the second activity from the first activity class. So they have provided the detailed explanation here. And while making use of this particular version of Android Studio, you need not go to Google every time, because they provide you the information here in the Studio Bot itself. So it is very much helpful for you. And now let's try to ask Studio Bot how to make a API call to fetch information. So while you are phrasing a question, just try to specify it clearly. So if you just specify an API call, then it might get confused, like you're trying to fetch the data, or you're trying to post the data, or delete, update. So let's try to specify the information properly, and now let's try to see what response you will be getting over here. So to make an API call, fetch information, so they have just provided you with a HTTP based API call here, and here they have also specified get. So just have said, right, you should not just specify an API call, you should also properly, are you trying to fetch or post? As we have specified we are trying to fetch, they have specified get over here. And also authorization, if you are having any API key, then you can just specify it over here. So the code is not at all confused. I mean, there will be some tools which generate code quite confusing and very hard to understand, but this particular code generated by StudioBot is very easy and easily understandable Android application developers. And let's try to find some more information from StudioBot. I am creating an app. Should I use MVVM or MVP? So these are again the architecture based question. So I'm just trying to ask Studio, should I use MVVM or MVP? And it started explaining first what is MVVM and MVP. And the MVVM and MVP design patterns are both popular choices for Android development. Both patterns have their own advantages and disadvantages, so the best choice for your project will depend on your specific needs. Okay, so which pattern should I use? The best choice for your project will depend on your specific needs. If you need a lot of data binding, then MVVM pattern is a good choice. If you need a lot of user interaction, then MVP pattern is a good choice. So provide me code for MVVM project. Let's try to see how Studio will respond. So this question is not properly phrased, but let's try to test how StudioBot understands the question. And here, yes, it understood very clearly, and it has provided us view model, everything, activity, and it's just perfect. So you have got everything over here, the code, and we have got an options like copy, insert, add cursor. So now let's try to make use of this particular code here, and I'm going to remove all this code now, as we have got the class main activity, and here we have got the activity code. So what we will do is like insert at cursor. So let's try to make use of this. So I'm just placing my cursor over here and tapping on this button, and here you can see we have got the code added to our window over here. And this way you can just easily make use of the code which you got from StudioBot and get started with your programming. So I hope you found this tutorial interesting, and try to create a small app. You need not use MVVM or MVP, just a small application, and try to make use of StudioBot in it. And just let me know in the comment section below if you are facing any issues in this particular implementation. So why I'm saying you to make use of StudioBot and create an application, because when you make a try, then you will understand it much better than just watching this particular tutorial. And also Let me know in the comment section below how effective it was for you to make use of Studio Bot. And some of you might have a question like, the code is being provided by Studio Bot, then we might not learn actually how to write the code. But here Studio Bot also provide you a proper explanation, and you can just try to read through the entire explanation, and I hope it will be very much effective for you in learning purpose. And once you learned it, then you can just write the code on your own. If you're still having any queries, just let me know in the comment section below. And this is it for this particular tutorial. And for more interesting tutorials, stay subscribed to our channel.